Hello class, this is Mr. Perez. I'm going to show you how to draw a quick strawberry. This is from a project submitted for the emoji project. We had the strawberry here submitted by the student, which is actually pretty cool. It's a cool sketch. I just want to clean it up a little bit using the Illustrator tools. First of all, I see like a oval here. I see the arms. I see the knife, a fork, and the little leaves. So to start working on this is quite easy if you know the tools. So the first thing I do is to draw an oval. Okay, then I go to the fill. I want to use a color that reminds me of the color of the berry. And I want to kind of keep her like her colors, which are pretty good. So I go to that one. And then I notice that she had no stroke on it, so I'm going to take the stroke out. And then I can use the white arrow, click on the bottom, and I can move the handlebars of the oval that way to give that berry shape. And I can click the top area and lower it a little bit. And that's how you start working your strawberry. Let's give it a little shape here. A little shape there. Make sure it doesn't look like a chicken heart. You want to make it look like a strawberry. It's not perfect on both sides, but it's a berry. They're not in nature. So I kind of like the uniqueness. You can also just draw half and then duplicate it. Okay, now to draw the little leaves on top, that's quite easy. All I have to do is take the line tool that you see here. This is the line tool. I'm going to draw a few lines. Whoops, I better use black ink for those, huh? I had that other one around here somewhere. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna make it black as well. And I'm gonna draw a few more. Okay, maybe I should have been using green. And this is a new tool that I want you guys to learn how to use if you don't know how. And it's the width tool. The width tool, take a line, draw by one of the shape makers. It doesn't work with the pencil of the paintbrush. And you can just click and it expands whatever you drew. So with the width tool, I can make the little leaves of the berry. I can play with the width. It's a very convenient tool. It's really useful. Like all the tools in Illustrator, it has its moment. So I'm gonna stretch some of these ones. Some of these lines, they look a little flat. So another thing you can do is to go to the pen tool and go to add anchor point. And you can add more points to these lines. And by adding extra points, I can make those lines turn. Those lines are straight. So now I go to this one, convert anchor point, and I click. And they're going to start deforming a little bit. And that's where I created that line. So click there. Let me click it that way. And here. Okay. They're going to look better once I make them green. So I select them all. I missed that one. So I hit shift and I click. And I'm going to make them green. There we go. Whoops. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I forgot this one here. So I'm going to make this one as well. Green. You know, I'm looking at them, but they're kind of boring. They should have some gradients to make it more fun. Nothing like fun little leaves. So I put the gradient. I forgot that one. Let's put a gradient as well. Okay, and I think with the gradient they look a little better. And when I click the gradient option comes out. And I can double click here and select the colors. I can say, okay, it's gonna go from a particular color to a particular color. That's kind of nice. Maybe even lighter. So that's selected. I can go here and actually change it a little bit. Same thing for these other ones here. I need to go to green to what? To a lighter green. And I can keep going doing that from there on and on and on. Whoops, that one went flat. Undo. And once we draw it right, let me change. That's almost blue. To another one. I just want to keep it fun and keep changing the colors. So we use the width tool so far to make the little lines go wide, and I was drawing with the ovals. Those are the major tools that I've been using today. And finally, let's get this one to that one. Maybe a little more fun color. Kind of like that. Okay, so once you get that going, you can click on the anchor points for that shape, and you can get the little strawberry leaves happening. All these points, I can play with them and I can mess with them. I will take more time, but I don't want to make this video too long. Once I got that, I got this. Why not using a gradient for the shape to make it look more round? So all I have to do is click the gradient, and of course, I don't think I want that color necessarily, so I'm gonna go from a dark red to a lighter one. Now I can adjust them a little. I can click on that one, go down here, and maybe I was looking too tomatoish. Okay, now that one got darker. So I'm gonna put that one in the middle. I'm actually gonna make it a little darker. Then go to this extreme and make it a lighter red again. That's a way to do it. If I wanted to make it look more round, instead of having a linear gradient like it's here, I can make a radial. I know it's kind of weird right now, I'm aware of it, but I can use this tool, the gradient tool, and I can play with all these things. No, it's too harsh. Maybe need to go that way. There we go. Now it's looking nicer. I can play with that color as well and make a little darker. There we go. Now it's happening. Well, no, it might be looking a little bit like a tomato, but let's just play along with this. I just want to show you how the tools work, and you can draw anything you like. So once I got this going, the other thing the strawberry have is those little seeds, those little points. So what I can do, this is what I got so far. These are my layers for the strawberry. I can draw one at a time, which is a way to do it. And then I can just add them. I can take a drawing tool, for example, a brush. Let me put no stroke on this thing. Whoops, sorry. I'll put no stroke. I'll make it fill the color that she has there. It's like a creamy color, kind of like those little leftover of the flowers that the strawberry have. I'm just gonna go with that one for time's sake. And I can draw a few of them with the oval tool. But I'm not liking it. I'm not feeling it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my layers. Okay, I'm gonna close the first layer. That's the strawberry. I can double click there and rename it to strawberry. Then I can lock it. That means I cannot do anything else to that layer. And if you see the layer here, create a new layer button, I can make a new layer there. I can actually draw one of the little strawberry little dots here. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys see what's going on. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. You see that? I can take the convert anchor point, which is with the pen tool, make those, turn it into points, and that looks a little more like it. And that I can turn into a symbol. If you go Window, symbols, the symbol menu shows up. Then I can take that drawing, take the black arrow, drag it there, and I can name it strawberry dot. Okay, and there it is. What is really sweet about that is when you look at Illustrator, you see a bottle of spray paint here. It's the symbol sprayer. You want to make that brush smaller. You can do that by hitting the bracket. If you look at your keyboard, you're going to see IOP. When you go to the P right after, there's a little brackets. If you hit them, the brush actually, the symbol brush will start to get smaller. Do you see that circle? That's my actual brush. Then I can spray a few. It's almost like copy pasting. It's quite interesting because the symbols are random. I just hate like copy pasting so much. Then I can go to Object, Expand. Whoops. Let me go. Okay. And now they're separate events. I can actually click on them one at a time. There we go. And by clicking once, you can move them. You can also do something called an envelope. You should look it up. It's other features that the program have that allows you to do even more with it. Okay, so I got a few of those little guys there. I'm happy with it. I can move a few so it looks more like a strawberry, you know. Let me move a couple of them. Other thing that she have was a face. I'm just gonna draw part of it, and see she had an eyeball and the fork and the spoon. So to draw an eyeball is really easy in Illustrator. All you have to do is draw a circle. Let me get a gradient first. Let's make a good one. I'm gonna go from a little grayish color to pure white. I'm on the gradient tool. See gradient, I got a gradient going. So now I can draw an eyeball. I hit shift, so it's a perfect eyeball. I'm gonna do a radial. This should be a little darker. That gray is not quite cutting it. Maybe too dark, huh? So if I go with the dark one, slice it, and then click here again and go maybe like a 30% gray, I start to get something here. I can slide that, or I can take the gradient tool, which is the way to do this right. And I can pretend that I have a light source following the light source of the strawberry. You can change this color. You can make it a little pinkish maybe, so it looks more like an eyeball. Now we're talking. I know it looks a little weird, but trust me, it's gonna work. There we go. So once I have that, if I want to, I can put a stroke on it. That would be like a line. And if I have a stroke, of course, I can use the width tool if I want to put a little shadow to that. You see how cool it looks? I can have that to be, the stroke to be a color itself. Oh, that didn't take. Let me see. You have, or you can have that be the gradient, which is even cooler. Instead of being that, I'm gonna make a linear gradient, and it's gonna go from a dark red to a lighter one. And I'm gonna change the direction so it looks like the eyes are sunk in it. I can just click in reverse right here, and you see how it's looking? So now I got the eyeball. Then I move the little dot over here. I need the actual eye. So I'm gonna put no stroke on it. Whoops, let me unclick that line. Okay, now I don't want a stroke. I'm gonna make it, she had blue eyes on it, so I guess I'm gonna make it blue. I like brown eyes, but I like brown eyes as well, or almond colors. I think it will go good with the strawberry, but let's make them blue. So I'm gonna go from one blue to a lighter blue. Now I can draw the actual eye, and I hit shift again to make sure I keep it that way. Reverse the angle so it looks more real. And I'm gonna draw another little circle here for the pupil. And that one's gonna be black, no stroke. There's your eye. Let's put a little highlight over the eye, and that's quite easy to do. All you have to do, just draw a shape, make it white, and then change the opacity. You see that transparency menu? If you change the opacity down to like 40%, let's do it a little higher so it doesn't look like a contact lens. I'm gonna go for 60%. Take the white arrow, distort a little, rotate. I rotate with a black arrow. Click and rotate. You're getting a highlight there. You see how that eye works? So far I got the eyeball. To make the other one, it's really easy. You just copy, paste it, and flip. Flip the highlight. Okay. Then the last thing I'm gonna do for this video, and I'm gonna draw the hands or nothing else, is the fork. The fork is easy as well. You can just draw a shape if you want. And I'm gonna make it, I guess, gray. What you can do, this is a really cool trick. You can actually draw a shape. Let's draw something like a star. I go to the star, I double click, and I'm saying that I want a bunch of points on it. Oh my God, look at that star, how many points. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna distort it to get like a fork shape, like that. I'm gonna change the color to make it easy for you to understand. So I put the star right on top of the oval. Notice how I'm making it really, really narrow, because I'm gonna use a star to cut the shape into the oval to make it look more like a fork. I select both. You have to have both. Then you go to the pathfinder. It's window pathfinder, and here's the pathfinder, and I go to divide. We used the divide before already. Now I take the white arrow, click and delete. And it's kind of like an evil looking fork, huh? Yeah, I like my forks to be good enough to pick up the meat. Then the next thing I do, I need to draw the handle. So I have that shape. I just wanted to call the color again. Go to my basic shapes. Round the rectangle tool. So here's the forky. Okay, I'm gonna line it. If I select both, Illustrator give me the alignments options, and I want this one. Horizontal align, perfectly aligned. Then before I pathfind this, I'm going to stretch the bottom part. I want it to be a little wider. I have to use a white arrow. So I'm gonna go that far. It's about that far here. Now it's select both again. This time with the pathfinder, I'm gonna go to unite. It's gonna make one shape out of it. If I wanted to make it look metallic, I can put a gradient using the right colors. You already see me use the gradient. I can edit these points. Maybe I don't need this thing to be so evil looking. Maybe by just doing this, I can make a friendly looking fork. So these are options that you can do for your project. To make cleaner shapes, you can accommodate shapes by clicking the right options. You can always revisit them. See, I cannot click this right now because my layers are locked. But if I go to my layer menu, I can lock the bottom part of the strawberry, and then I will be able to access it. And maybe this time I want to make the gradient a little more interesting. So I could like click on a color and maybe make it a little darker. I'll make my strawberry a little more fun if I flip it. There we go. So I hope this video helped to teach you how to draw basic shapes in the program. You can play with the gradients. That's what makes Illustrator a great program. So this is it. Thank you.